tab is muted. All right. Yo, what's up, Smelly? How's it going, dog? How's it going? How's it going? It's been a minute, huh? Been a minute. I don't even know if I know how to stream anymore. I feel a little awkward. Missed you too. Missed. Not gonna lie, I've been like, dude, you know, I've been working pretty heavily on this project. Like all this time I would have spent streaming, I've just been working on this. I think it's pretty cool. We'll see how it pans out. But aside from that, dude, I'm just like fatigued. I'm like fatigued with politics in general. Doing good, chilling. How are you? Yeah, I'm just like, dude, severe fatigue, I guess. It's like everyone's been grinding. Yeah, 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 real. I want to stream more though. I always say that, but it's just like, dude, you know, I tuned into Beardson's coverage of the debate, and I just like took a step back. I'm like, dude, you could tell you've been inside a lot. Why am I pale? Well, I also I turn the brightness up on this light so I get better lighting. How we doing? We mogging? We mogging? Anyway, so I have been inside a lot though. Dude, every time I go outside, I just can't, man. I just like, it's just unfucking believable. It's just like today, for instance, I'm driving to the gym, and it's just like, I can't go like 12 blocks without crashing the fuck out. It's like you get people, and you just get like, fucking people blowing through fucking stop signs, blowing through fucking red lights, pedestrians, they don't look both ways. They just tunnel vision. They don't check the fucking road. I get fucking assholes driving into oncoming traffic. People just double parking for no fucking reason, just double parking. The roads are fucked up, potholes everywhere. People throwing shit out of their fucking car windows. I'm like fucking like screaming at the top of my lungs in my car at these fucking ignoramuses that I'm surrounded by. I'm like 12 blocks, dude, and I'm crashing the fuck out. Crashing the fuck out. Like, okay, I guess we're just not going to pay attention to the rules of the road today. I guess stop signs are just a suggestion. Pedestrians. Dude, looking both ways before you cross the street is something you learn in fucking kindergarten. It's like these people are trying to die. It's like these people are trying to get hit by a fucking car. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just like, it's like people are walking around with like fish bowls on their fucking heads. They're like living in another alternative universe, their own little fucking bubble. NPCs, man, NPCs. They're like GTA NPCs, unironically. Cortisol just fucking here. I'm like walking out of the gym, and there's like this other like black girl like walking like kind of in front of me. This fucking like black dude in like this beat up Mercedes with his like window rolled down is like, he's like looking over, clearly trying to hit up on the on the shawty right in front of me. He's like fucking banging on his horn, trying to get her attention. It's like, hey, jackass, shut the fuck up. Nobody wants to hear that. He's just beeping his fucking horn, trying to get, and I'm like, dude, you're a nuisance. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I've just fucking had it, dude. I'm like, You know, they always say go touch grass. I go touch grass and I'm like more pissed off. It's just like it's just I can't, man. I just fucking can't. I'm going fucking crazy. Yesterday, I also go to the gym. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop at Walgreens, right? I'm gonna stop at Walgreens, pick up some ibuprofen and some what else did I? I got some vitamin not vitamin C. I got some NAC. And dude, I'm like waiting in line at the checkout. Oh my fucking gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. And like there's these two guys, like they're gay. One of them is like he's got like cat ears on, a cape, and like a mesh shirt. I'm like fucking they're like over I'm just like sitting there like I'm just like thinking we need a Stalin right now. We need a fucking Stalin right now. How do you go out in public looking like that? How do we get here? How the fuck do we get, like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is, I'm being outflanked. I got freaks over here in cat costumes. I got degenerate, like, hood rat trash, like, that you just can't get away from. Holy fuck. And it, so I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Great. Walk over to, I'm walking over because I'm going to go pick up some milk and bananas for my protein shake. I stopped by the bookstore. I'm like, you know what? I haven't been in a bookstore in a minute. I'll check it out. And, you know, it's fun. I'm looking at like the history section and they've got the whole like Nazi, there's like a whole section dedicated to Nazi Germany. I'm like, first, you know, they got the classics like the, you know, the rise and fall of the Third Reich and Maus and all of that. Nothing I'm sure that would be too glazing. And I was about to buy this Stalin book. I'm thinking like, you know what? Maybe I should read up on Stalin. But it's like, dude, I'm like, and then I like walk over to like some of like the trending books. And it's like, first of all, there are so many World War II books. It's nauseating. But it's just, I walk over to like the, you know, the new trending bestsellers books. And dude, it's just like, I know I'm not telling you guys stuff you probably don't already know, but it's like, it's all just reinforcement of like the same liberal ideology, same liberal worldview. Like one book is about like, you know, the caste system in America. America actually has a caste system not too dissimilar from like India, or what was the other example they brought up? I forget. And it's like, oh, you're telling me that like classes exist, that like, you know, patronage networks exist, that like, you know, people with wealth typically interact with other people of wealth. Is this supposed to be groundbreaking? And of course I look at the author, oh, it's a black woman. Oh, wow, fascinating finding. It's just like, you realize just people are like idiots, and there are so many faux sophisticates out there. You know, I saw this other book that was like talking about like Bretton Woods and the building of like the American world order. And I'm like, I'm reading the cover of it, and or what do they call that? The inside panel. And like one of the things he says is like, you know, how like, you know, amazing this world order is, and how like the America First movement is threatening it. It's like, okay, all right. And talks about how great it is that we built up this sort of network of democracy that America would want, that would fund countries that were once considered enemies, and now we're considering them, you know, we pull them into Bretton Woods by lending them money, and now they're allies. And it's like, you know, on paper I don't really have a big problem with that, but it's like, you know, who is this guy? It's just like some European seething about America being like, you know, more important than all the European countries. So I'm just like really unimpressed with all these offerings. You know, like I saw another book that was on like the legendary warrior of Yasuke. I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be brilliant. Read up on the author. He's like an associate professor at Tokyo. That's always good. A non-tenured professor. I'm sure he's really brilliant. Talking about how Yasuke, he was a phenomenon. You know, he was the first African a lot of Japanese people saw. Some people thought he was a god. I'm like, dude, Yasuke was like, he was like a jester. He was like a squire. He was like an oddity that they kept around. He was not a legendary warrior. If I'm not mistaken, he was in like one battle and he like fled. He was a certified oddity to the Japanese people. Not this legendary warrior. So I'm just like, yeah, dude, this shit, I don't even know, man. Really, really groundbreaking stuff. So then I walk over to the Trader Joe's to get my bananas and my milk. And I'm just, dude, it's like, you know, the guy at the cashier, I'm just looking at him and it's like one of these guys that like, what do you even call him? Like it's like an archetype, you know? He's kind of like soy looking, you know, kind of fat looking white guy with like the mustache and like, I can only imagine he had a mullet or like something like that behind, you know, underneath his toque, his beanie. You know, just like kind of like that hipstery kind of like I don't even, how would you describe it? Kind of like folksy type, like, hey man, kind of guy you would see at like a some like local cafe or something. And I was like, dude, and he's got like painted fingernails. I'm like, dude, what are we talking about? What are we even what are we discussing? So yeah, every time I touch grass, it just makes things worse, dude. I'm like at the point where I just like, dude, I just want to fuck off to like Hawaii. Get like some beachfront property. So like tiny little beachfront property, like isolated. And just like live out my days. Like as a hermit, dude. Just hang out on the beach. I'm totally Paul Town pilled, honestly. This shit is Jester. Uh 5G towers roasting everyone's brain. Yeah. Or dude, it's like people, they're like not real human beings, man. I'm having a really hard time not just hating everybody. Um I don't know. I'm having a really hard time believing that everybody has a soul. I'm like, you know what? Maybe the rabbi is right. Maybe the goyim really aren't people. I have such fatigue, man. I'm like, and so to bring it all back to the Candace Owens debate, I took a step back and had this moment where I'm like, dude, look at where we are right now. Just think of the context of which this conversation is occurring. You know, and there were, I think, like hundreds of thousands of people that tuned into this debate. Just think about this for a second. This is the discourse. We're discussing who really killed Charlie Kirk. Okay? As if it's this like open-ended question. As if there isn't such enormous evidence that points to Tyler Robinson being the killer. And okay, and it's always framed as just asking questions. Like that's like Candace Owens got so defensive throughout the whole thing. Oh, I'm not allowed to ask questions. It's like, no, you are. That's fine, but you were making claims. You know, and whenever she was pressed on any of her claims, like, why do you believe that Israel's responsible for Charlie Kirk? She would just backpedal, gaslight, and retreat to saying, well, I'm not allowed to ask questions. Like, literally, like, Andrew Wilson asked, and I think Andrew Wilson did an okay job. You know, more on that in a second. But he asked, like, okay, what evidence do you have that led you to believe that Israel was responsible for Charlie Kirk's assassination? She said, well, I never said that. I said, I believe they were involved in it. And he's like, well, okay, what evidence led you to that belief? And she's like, well, watch my show. Watch my show. And I don't really need to tell you that. It's like, what? So you just decided that on vibes? It was just vibes. This is vibes-based journalism. I think Israel did it. Why? I don't need to tell you. Watch my show. Well, we're reacting to your clips on your show. Can you expand on what you said here? I don't have to explain it to you. Okay, so. Okay, like, and it's like, so if this is not the appropriate setting for you to explain yourself, to lay out the evidence in plain English, because that's what this debate is for. It's so lazy and dishonest to just like reference, well, watch my show. That's what this fucking debate is for. Bring the goods, bring the receipts here and now. If this context, a debate with literally, look, 230,000 people just on this one stream, hundreds of thousands of people watching live. You're getting paid $300,000 up front on top of all of the AdSense that you are gaining from this stream, from this event. If this is not the appropriate setting to properly explain yourself, then it begs the question, well, what proper context could possibly exist if this isn't it now? What more of an incentive could you need? And the answer is, well, there is none. There is no circumstance of which she would ever properly bring the goods, the evidence, because they don't fucking exist. That's why. Because they don't fucking exist. She's full of shit. She's full of shit, man. All it is deflection, it's backpedaling, it's gaslighting. It's so exhausting, dude. And the Goyim are eating this shit up. They're eating it up, man. I'm just like, how the fuck did we get here? I have such fatigue, dude. I have such fatigue. Like, you know, a year and a half ago when everyone was getting red pilled, I'm like, damn, it's actually happening, huh? It's actually happening. I never thought I'd see the day. And they just blew right past us. They just blew right fucking past us. And now it's just like Egyptian planes and the French Foreign Legion and this, all this, that, and the other. And it's like, how do people not see the obvious grift here? The French Foreign Legion wants me dead. Okay, don't you think you would be dead? They're out to get me. Well, you're saying all this stuff as if, like, you're running fucking ads. You understand how ridiculous, like, the Epstein class, the government, they're trying to get me. More on that in a second, but first, do you suffer from anal ulcers? Well, I've got the solution to you. Try this new cream from this new biotech company. Oh, if you have anal ulcers, I hear this is really good for you. Biotech company, use code Candace at checkout for 15% off on your first purchase. Anyway, they're trying to get me. They're trying to shut me down, as she says to hundreds of thousands of people on fucking YouTube. Nobody's out to get you, you stupid bitch. Nobody's out to fucking get you. If anything, like, you're doing them favors by poisoning the well, by making everybody, like, psychotic. Everybody is a schizo and that can't think critically whatsoever. If anything, you are doing their bidding. Nobody's out to fucking get you. That's just preposterous. So the whole thing was just a waste of time. The whole thing was tedious. It was irritating. Nothing was really gained from any of this, to be honest. So, yeah, dude, I just don't. I'm just like so tired of these fucking people, man. I really am. I'm so tired of all of it. I'm so tired of this shit. It's like, you know what, dude? It's almost like, dude, if they weren't so evil, you already know what I'm gonna say. You already know what I'm gonna say. If they weren't so evil, Hashem, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, let me get my interest-free loan. Because they're totally right, dude. These people are sheep. These people are fucking cattle. It's so blackpilling, man. And you realize, again, if Nick didn't exist, if America First wasn't a thing, we would be so unbelievably fucked. It would not even be funny. There would be no hope. So, like, what a fucking waste of time. I'm trying so hard not to just fucking hate everybody, honestly. I'm trying so hard not to, but they're making it really difficult for me. They're making it really fucking difficult for me. I don't know. It's just like, I'm at a loss for words, dude. Like, I get it. I totally get why Nick crashes out all the time. And I'm seeing, like, I don't want to start infighting, but it's like you occasionally see, like, Groypers on the timeline saying retarded shit too. Like, there was like one Groyper that's now shelling a fucking shitcoin. It's like, are we serious right now? Are we serious right now? As if the super chats weren't enough of an indication. It's just like, dude, I don't even know. I don't even know. Anyway, let me catch up here. What's going on? Oh, what's up, Mitchell? How's it going? Yeah. Yeah, 5G Towers, all gay shit wins, right? Fantasy. Back to Japan, they will welcome their long lost son. I don't know. You gotta go down with the ship. You gotta go down with the ship, man. America's my home. I'm an American. But I just see my fellow Americans, and we're in a sinking ship, and they're like shooting more holes in the fucking hull of our sinking ship. And I'm like, dude, at what point do you just say like, I guess we just deserve it. I guess we just deserve our country just deserves to get raped to death if this is like what we're doing. I hate saying that, but it's like, what is it gonna take? On the one hand, you've got like these like politically inept conspiratards, you know, these like MAGA expats, these disillusioned MAGA people that are now like conspiratards. Then you have the people that are still MAGA somehow, these plan trusters, and then you got the Wignats, the Brown clowns, the Zionists, you know, the Israel lobby and all that. But then it's just you have these like white liberals, dude, and it's like maybe lately I've just had so much contempt, like specifically for white liberals because they are just traitors. They are. They're just total traitors. And I just wonder, like, dude, what is it gonna take? What is it gonna take for people? Like, how much more do white people need to be like beaten down and discriminated against before these people get it? I just genuinely, I just like genuinely don't get it. Like, do things just have to get worse for even worse for white people before these people begin to understand? I'm just like when I hear another story of like some overly credulous libtard that gets like brutally assaulted or whatever, you know, gets a dose of reality. I'm like out of sympathy. I really am. I'm really out of sympathy for these people. It's like, well, what did you expect? I don't know, dude. It's just so frustrating. I'm just like, so that's why like this whole debate, the fact that this fucking debate even took place is just like a black pill. And it's just like the dumbest shit ever. Like Candace Owens is such a stupid, evil bitch. It's unbelievable. Like like how does she have a platform? How does anybody take her seriously? She just lies with impunity. Like no shame. No shame. She gets called on it and she just like, well, I never like she just gaslights. Gaslights. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Backpedals. And I wish Andrew Wilson pressed her harder and actually like engaged with the stuff she was saying, because if you ask her to like explain herself, she wouldn't be able to. And it felt like he was just kind of like waiting for her to stop talking. And I think he could have pressed her way harder and she would have completely folded. She was already kind of like struggling quite a bit, but she relied so much on like the snarky quips. And either way, it's just like, this is just like embarrassing, man. That this is even happening. Like this whole thing is just ridiculous. And I never thought I'd say this, but I long for the days of like the 2021 censorship. Seriously. You know, maybe we were too harsh on the Biden regime for like censoring all these like right-wing retards, all these conservatards. You know, they were actually saving us from ourselves. Joking, obviously, but it's like seriously, man. Like, look at how the floodgates have opened up. I just like maybe I should just become a gaming streamer. Hey guys, today we're gonna try to beat Minecraft hardcore. I'm just so tired of this shit, man. I'm so fucking tired of these people. I've just fucking had it. I've just fucking had it, man. I've just fucking had it. What's up, Mr. Goat? How's it going? Oh yeah, this debate. You caught my comment. We were talking about that in Beardson's chat. What's funny? Charlie taught her these techniques. Yeah, isn't it funny? What a fucked up day, huh? Yeah, Q Zoomer. Bro didn't mention the Egyptian planes. Yeah, I've got a source is rock solid evidence. I know, right? Unnamed sources. So it's like, okay, so you don't have the credibility. You know, if you're kicking the can down the road, if you're not willing to name your source, then the credibility falls on you. And at some point, you kind of have to, you know, cash in a little bit. Because anybody can just say, I have a source. Oh, that's not very convincing. Who is the source? Because these are very bold claims. And it'd be one thing if there was more evidence to support these claims, but there isn't any. It's just like, well, my source said so. I have a source in the French government that said that they're trying to kill me. Can we see that? No. Okay. So we just have to take your fucking word for it. You see why that's a problem? And I see some people saying, this is the black pill. I'm going to black pill you guys right now. I see some people saying that like Candace's audience is like mostly like wine moms and like, you know, turd worlders. And there's some truth to that, absolutely. But I hate to break it to you guys, but that's just not really the full picture. There are a lot of white guys that are buying into this stuff. I talked to one and he was like a wealthy, successful guy. He owned a business, an engineer, ostensibly high IQ. And he was talking about, yeah, you know, they run the country, you know what I'm talking about? And he's talking about like truth tellers, like, yeah, I like Candace Owens. I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wow. He's talking about like, how can I be racist? My kids are half something, half non-white. I forgot what ethnicity his wife was. I'm like, look at our right wing, dog. Look at our right wing. Look at our right wing right now. That's the fucking black pill. No, it's not just like non-whites and like women that are watching Candace. I hate to break it to you guys, but your fellow white man is like fucked in the head. Is totally cucked. I hate to break it to you guys, but it pains me deeply, but it's true. It's true. So anyway. Alice was saying similar sentiments. Bro wants to become a gamer. I'm with him, dude. One of the reasons why I haven't been streaming is because this shit fucking sucks. The timeline fucking sucks. You go under any comment about any of these things, you just see the dumbest fucking people you can possibly imagine. Let's just pick like a random, let's see, let's find a tweet that has some decent engagement. What? What do we even, what do we even, okay. Okay, those comments were too bad. Not really proving my point right now, but I just see like so many comments. I guess it's more so on non-Groiper posts, but it's just like, I don't know, man. People, I'm just like increasingly frustrated. I'm 100% Paul Townpilled, man. He's 100% right. This shit fucking sucks. Yeah. I'm just gonna become a fucking gaming streamer. I'm just gonna fucking play games on stream. Fuck it. Fuck it, dude. Fuck it, man. Whatever, dude. Whatever, bro. This shit fucking sucks. And regardless, it's like everything, you know, the only thing that matters in this space is Nick's show. That is the only stream that actually matters. Everything else is just unnecessary. I would probably be much happier just playing games and rather than talking about this clown shit all the time. But at the same time, I have to. Like, I feel compelled to just like, otherwise, like, how am I gonna get out of my system? Anyway, favorite candyism. I can explain it to you, but I can't make you understand it. Yeah, it's just like it'd be one thing if she already explained it, but she never explained it. Like it'd be one thing if it were like an own. It'd be one thing if like Nick just explained like I don't know some political theory like Rimland theory or something, and somebody just like is asking the same question like in a super chat, explain the thing you just explained. That would be one thing, but she literally didn't explain shit. She literally did not explain a single fucking thing throughout that entire interview. When it came to like the contentious things, like the actual contentious claims that she's making, like Israel had involvement or whatever. It's also tiresome, dude. It's also fucking tiresome. What's up, Hippo? How's it going? Yeah, it was just a total waste of fucking time. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, dude, why are we here? Just to suffer? Like, this is. I don't know. I guess I've just been like, I don't know. I've just been like very. What's the word? I don't know. Just frustrated, I guess. Andrew was underwhelming and tried to play nice. It backfired. He could have totally buried her. Both PBD and Andrew just let her talk nonstop. Not how debates work. Yeah, I think he did an okay job, but like you have to. Here's the thing with Candace Owens. She's not a reasonable person. Okay? You just have to humiliate people like that. You have to press them, force them to explain their nonsensical claims. And Andrew just didn't really go in hard enough. I think he was afraid that she would like pull the plug on the whole thing. She kind of alluded to that a few times, which is just so fucking typical. What did she say exactly? Like, was a discussion, it's not a debate. Like, she like tried to reframe the discussion. I forgot exactly what she said. But she didn't like the idea that she would be like pressed on all of her statements. Like, isn't that kind of what this debate is for? So I think that was a bit of a missed opportunity, but like, how many people are going to have their minds changed by this one way or the other? And I think the only way you can get that is if it's just a matter of humiliation. You're playing for the sound bites. You're playing for the clips. Very few people have their minds changed from the actual like debate itself, the actual like substance and content of the debate. It's more so to galvanize either side of the debate. You know, you want your person to win. It's team sports. That's what it's really for. So, yeah. I think just so stupid, man. Whole thing. And PBD sucks. PBD's a fucking moron. He sucks, dude. Worst moderator ever. And what is his contribution? Like he's just such a fucking idiot. It's all like platitudes with this guy. Well, it's a good thing that we're sitting down and we're having the conversation that the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. It's like, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before. Every like moderately conservative fucking podcaster, we're having the conversation the mainstream media doesn't want you to hear. Did he come up with that in his thinking room? His thinking room with the painting of like fucking Einstein and Tupac having a conversation? I bet that's where he cooked that shit up. He's like, oh, that's good. That's good. They're gonna like that. He really thinks he's him. Total fucking idiot. And he's like shilling like $600 shoes. Like, bro, if I catch somebody wearing those shoes, it's on site. It's on site, bro. It's on fucking site. Like, the guy's just an MLM scammer. And you know, he saw the opportunity. Like, that's why he was moderating the debate, because he saw the opportunity to inject himself into the conversation. He has nothing substantive to add. He's a terrible moderator. but he's gonna shill his shit on the show. It's the most watched debate in I don't know how long, maybe of the year. So he has everything to gain from it. So he was quick in there and like added, he detracted from the conversation. It would be better off if he just was not in the room, if they had no moderator. Whatever, man. Three moderators on the list were Knowles, PBD, and Myron Gaines. Knowles declined, so they went with PBD. Should have had Myron. Yeah, I think Myron would have done a better job. He's used to dealing with women on his panel. He would have clocked, I think, some of her bullshit. I don't even know what Myron even believes when it comes to that, the whole Kirk assassination. It's interesting that Knowles declined, though. Like, you're not going to moderate the most contentious debate of the year? I mean, I guess. Maybe it was a principled thing, I don't know. But from a pure business perspective, it does make sense. From a pure clout farming perspective, it does make sense to want to moderate it. Yeah. PBD made Josiah Moody look like a good moderator. Yeah, bro was just like, dude, I don't even... Who watches his show? Who watches his podcast? It really makes you wonder, but, you know, then you remember. Then you remember, like, the Goyim are not people. I don't know. Candace is not reasonable. She's pregnant, so her cycles are all over the place. Yeah, I mean, and she's like dumb. And she's stupid on top of it, so. Yeah, in her brain, I'm sure she thinks she owned him. Whatever, dude. Crowder would have buried her. Yeah, Crowder probably would have. Say what you will about Crowder, but you know, he usually has like his claims are usually sourced, you know. He does a decent job at that. Biggie Smalls. I don't know if Biggie Smalls was. I'm not Mr. Forge. I don't know if you know, but that wasn't a bit. That's real. He has a thinking room with a painting of, I think it's Joseph Stalin, Albert Einstein, and fucking Tupac in a painting. And on the table is like, what's on the table? It's like the Communist Manifesto. They're like discussing these books. I'm not making that shit up. I'm literally not making that. If you think I'm making that shit up, I'm not. I'm being dead serious. So, such a scammy guy. Yeah, he is. PBD only cares about clicks and money while pretending to be the good guy, doing the opposite. He's just a scam artist. Always was, always will be. Andrew started strong and then faded. I had to drop off. I had Gemini wade through it. Yeah, you really missed nothing. It was just such a nothing debate. What were the debate topics? They were debating the Charlie Kirk assassination. Like the overarching, like the real question was like who killed Charlie Kirk, but it kind of went all over the place a little bit. It was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. Why? Why was it a waste of time? Because like Candace wouldn't really answer any of the questions. She would just refuse to answer the questions to provide evidence to her claim. And it was just like tedious. It was just tedious to listen to. So nothing new was really gained from it, from the conversation. It was just frustrating. You know, Candace has made, if you've been following this discussion to some degree, like Candace has been making all of these wild claims and accusations about the Kirk assassination. You know, saying stuff like it was Israel, the Egyptian planes, and she said that the French Foreign Legion is trying to kill her. And then when asked why, she said, well, I have a source. Well, who's your source? I'm not going to say. Well, okay, well, what if I said I had a source that says your source is full of shit? Well, who's your source? I'm not going to say. Like, that's not credible. It's just not. that's just you're staking your own credibility on it, in lieu of naming your source, and I don't think you have enough credibility to pull that off, quite frankly. So why wouldn't they debate politics and policy? Well, this was the topic of the discussion because Candace Owens has made her show about the Kirk assassination since September of last year. So, yeah, to swap over to YouTube. Kick's app is dog shit. Yeah, Kick needs to get their shit together. I'd argue the biggest debate since the presidential debate and total flop. Yeah, dude, it was just so boring. It was boring. Yeah, it's just whatever. You wanted to gain more of Candace's audience. Dude, you're not, but that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. You're not, Candace's audience are morons. Candace's audience are either morons or people that are like so fried. Like their critical thinking skills are fried. I just, you just have to humiliate her. That's how we should have gone into this debate. Like, you need to humiliate her. You're not going to win over her audience. Don't even try. Like, she's not going to see reason. She's not going to be reasonable. Like, literally, when simply asked to present evidence, she refused to do so. Why do you believe that Israel killed Charlie Kirk? Well, I didn't say that they killed Charlie Kirk, but I think that they're involved somehow. Okay, well, what evidence do you have that led you to that conclusion? Well, I don't have to say. You can watch my show. Okay, so what the fuck are we doing here? What is the point of all of this? Why am I here? Why am I wasting my fucking time with this slop? I could be doing literally anything else. So, frustrating. Knowles is the godfather of Candace's kids, if you recall correctly. Oh, okay, so he's not. He's far from impartial. Okay, then I can respect if he recused himself. I should have known not to trust Andrew after his sniz and pickle chart to puck. Kind of a deep pull, the sniz. That's, yeah. Oh yeah, no, I seen that shit. It's super tacky. Patrick brought the value. Yeah, the valuetainment. Yeah, valuetainment, dude. That is like the more you hear of valuetainment, it's like the most like clown shit in the world. That is like the worst branding I've ever heard in my life. Valuetainment. Wow. It's like, well, we want to bring entertainment, but also value. So how about we just put the two together? Valuetainment. Dude, that sounds like a free infomercial. That's some shit you would literally hear on an infomercial. Like you're trying to sell you some shit. Can I tell you about timeshares? That's like, dude. I'm like losing my mind right now. I'm like losing my fucking mind. I'm losing my fucking mind. Comment killed it 11 hours ago. Let's go. Uh, PBD is a freak. He claims he showers with his two boys. What? um, I, for his sake, I hope there's more context to that, but that sounds a little sus. No, I was talking about PBD trying to gain more / a cut of her audience. Oh, PBD, yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about Andrew, yeah. Yeah, I mean, just shameless. Just shameless grifter. He doesn't believe in anything. Yeah, I mean, he just wanted to insert himself into the conversation for relevancy. That's literally it. No other reason. Clear as day. Einstein, JFK. Oh, yeah, JFK was in there. Plato, Socrates, Lincoln, Tupac, Senna, Reza. Yeah, they're all, yeah. No, Milton Freeman. MLK, yeah. Oh, yeah, I think MLK was in there too. Yeah. Truly one of the artworks of all time. Without sources of support, it's not much of a debate. It really wasn't, dude. It wasn't. It's like, I don't know. And again, I think, look, I think Andrew Wilson did okay. but he should have gone for the jugular. And I think like I wasn't. I think like what he like didn't name all of the. This is just such like a silly thing. Like I think he like didn't name all the charges on Tyler Robinson, and he like pressed Candace for them. And it's like I don't really think this is of major consequence, but you know they're gonna see that as a win. I thought that was kind of a fumble and an unnecessary detour in the conversation. There were a lot of moments like that where it's just like, why are we, what are we talking about? What are we discussing? Can we stay on topic here? I don't know, dude. Extra value 99 cents. Work has been crazy, so I haven't kept up with politics. Yeah, dude, you're not missing much, man. I'm like ready to check out of politics, dude. I really am. I really am. I'm so fatigued, bro. I'm so fatigued. So, he made Mellow laugh, yeah. Let's go. W. Even doing the opposite, a little chilling at home. The CIA gang is here, yeah. Yep. Is that a picture of Sneeko Malcolm X? Why does it look like a 1940s slapstick comedy? Because Sneeko is comedy. He doesn't realize he's the punchline. Truth through funny. Patrick video has hit 1 million views. I believe it. I mean, like, how many viewers total do they have across the three platforms? I think like Candace had like 250,000. I don't know how many PBD had. I think Andrew Wilson was also streaming it. And then of course all the restreams. I think Crowder was live reacting to it too, if I'm not mistaken. So all in all, like this had to have been one of the most watched debates, like, yeah, maybe since the presidential election. Or no, what am I thinking of? I don't even remember. Like, wait, did they? Has there been anything other? Either. Well, I don't know. I can't really recall like another major debate. This has to be like the biggest, easily the biggest debate of the year. I believe. Somebody fact check me on what the biggest debate has been in recent history. Anyway. The whole thing was just slop entertainment. Yeah, it wasn't even entertaining though. Even the clips Andrew showed could have been more damaging. Dude, there's like a plethora of damaging clips. They could have just played clips the whole time of just like nonsense coming from Candace. What's my degree in? Mechanical engineering. I'll tell join the club. Just yeah. Yeah, I'm like ready to check out, dude. I'm ready to check out. What's up, Hawker? Shalom. AI greater than politics? True. It is. It is greater than politics. Politics is so jester. It really is. It really is, man. I could be like minimal cortisol, just chilling, doing literally anything else other than watching this fucking nonsense. Ay ay ay. Oy vey. Candace Owens 2.2 million views. Sheesh. Yeah. Charlie Kirk gets his shit blown smooth off. Candace Owens most affected, more at 11. Oh, the narcissism never ends. Andrew had 20K in the live. Okay, so Candace had like 230,000. I don't know how many PBD had. But if she had 2.2 million, then let's just say 100,000 then. So we're probably, and then I don't know how many Crowder had in the other region. We're probably at like, what, 500,000 live viewers, let's say. If I had to guess. Guesstimate. Your AI robo waifu is in the mail, coming from Indonesia. W. Who won the debate? I guess Andrew Wilson technically won. It doesn't even matter. I'll tell you who lost. We lost. The viewers lost. I like seriously. I don't even feel. Yeah, I'm just like irritated. It just irritated the shit out of me, to be honest. Gonna be easy to get out of politics with that one. More important stuff to focus on. Yeah, well, yes and no. Cause like all this stuff is dependent on politics. You know, it's like it really is. I think the most interesting stuff happening right now outside of like pure, because like you can't talk about AI or anything in tech without also mentioning politics because the two are just so inextricable. Like AI is the whole industry is shaping policy. So even when you try to escape AI, you once again arrive at politics because like what's happening? Like the Trump administration, really at the due to the pressure from Western AI companies like Anthropic, are now looking into potentially banning Chinese models. Now, why would like Anthropic or OpenAI want to ban Chinese models? Well, because Chinese models are their competition and they're frankly being outcompeted because these Chinese companies can offer services at a fraction of the cost. And I talked about this on my last stream if you're curious, but I don't want to, go down that rabbit hole again. And so once again, when you're talking about now about like the industry and the economics of it, and why does China have an economic advantage? Well, it's in a lot of the ways it's because of how they set up their country and their infrastructure to support industrial scale, well, initially manufacturing, but also now data centers and well AI processing. So they have economies of scale, and it's also subsidized by the government. And so they can operate at much lower costs compared to, data centers in the West. In addition, their peak hours differ from Western peak hours. So they have excess energy that they can use in processing that they can then offer to the West at peak hours in the West. So they have this like competitive advantage. And of course, there's the issue of distillation, which is, in short, what's likely going to happen is all these AI models are just going to be, they're just going to resemble one another. It will turn into a commodity and you will just pay for it as a service. And all these different models will essentially be the same because they're all distilling each other. They're all like using their models to figure out whatever competitive advantage a new model comes out from a competitor. They just distill it and then they incorporate that into their own model. It's like the flood. The flood is becoming more powerful. It's just consuming, and it's learning. It's procedurally learning and becoming smarter and has access to more information. So, anyway, so no matter what you do, it's like you always end up back at politics. So, like no matter how I try to escape, it always can't get away from it. They're calling Andrew Master Baiter. What you mean Master Debater? Isn't that how the joke goes? He's a master debater. Charlie was the lucky one. Okay, I don't know if I go that far. I don't know if I go that far. That's a little unhinged. I don't know if I go that far. Ugh. Also, why didn't they make this event bigger? It should have been in the evening in front of a crowd. It could have been better in general instead of sitting in Candace's house. Well, those were her terms. She wanted to do it in her house. She played the pregnant card. I'm pregnant. I can't be traveling. Okay, bitch. Fine, we'll do it at your place. It was kind of, I don't know. I think they only planned it like a week in advance. I mean, I don't know how much bigger it can really be. It pulled like 500,000 live viewers. So, and it's a pretty big deal, especially since nothing else is really going on. So, schmooch or schmooth. Yeah, smooth off. Can you even call it a debate? I'll call it was an ordeal, a debacle. It was a debacle. That's what it was. It was psychological damage. That's what it was. It was psychological damage. It was an attack. I was bombarded in the astral realm the whole time. I was demoralized and discombobulated after that whole thing. I feel like they were using secret weapons from Agartha to cause me psychological damage. It was a demoralization campaign, a psyop, if you will. And it totally worked. I am very demoralized after that. I am like, dude, we're cooked. We're cooked. This country's fucking cooked. Holy shit. Uh, yeah, Andrew 300K views. I'm not gonna watch it. Don't. It's not worth it, dude. Just go, like, I don't know, like, watch some fucking cartoons or something. Literally anything else. I just figured it will go the same way as automotive industry. In what way? In terms of like tariffs? Because the problem with that is like automotive is still manufacturing, and China definitely has stolen a lot of Western intellectual property. It's kind of what they're known for doing. I mean, more power to them, I guess. But the difference between AI is the iteration is so much quicker, and it's like, how do I explain this? It's something, in essence, you can kind of just copy and paste. It requires definitely a degree of technical expertise, but a big part of like manufacturing is that it requires, in many ways, decades upon decades of expertise to actually make something. It's like these factories are staffed with people who need to know what they're doing. And so you can't just like snap your fingers and create like a whole new industry that your country doesn't have the expertise to do. That's why it's taken China decades to catch up technologically, because they went from a primarily agricultural country to an industrial one, and they did so very quickly. Whereas America had, like 100-year advantage in the Industrial Revolution. So, we knew things about like steel manufacturing. All these like the means of doing these things. It's complicated, and that information needs to be procured and then passed down. Way easier said than done. So China is spending billions on infrastructure. The United States is spending trillions on never-ending foreign wars. Yeah, and look, man, it's just like, dude, isn't it funny? You rewind 2 years ago, when we were saying Nick led the charge and people called him a Democrat plant, but he said it in perfect English. Nick said, like, we're going to get war with Iran, and that will be way worse than you people can imagine, because they don't understand how things work. War in Iran, why would that be bad for America? It's like, who cares? Like, how would that like destroy the American empire? Never mind, like, and again, it's they don't see all of the moving parts and the different countries involved, and the secondary and tertiary effects that it would have, and what it would even take to like accomplish our goals in Iran, which, what even are our goals? In this sense, they're Israel's goals, because they're not going to let us back out of this scot-free. And it's like, people said that was like Democrat propaganda. Now look at us. Now look at us. Crazy. And like, you'd think people would learn. And this is what's so blackpilling. It's like, we have all of these instances of like, Nick was right. We're ahead of the curve. Vindicated again award. And rather than people like figuring shit out and learning from their mistakes, it's like now they're just like totally schizophrenic. Now we're talking about Egyptian fucking planes and the French Foreign Legion. It's like, dude, I don't know, man. And that's where the people just aren't meant for this. They're not built for this. They really like. Is this not like a case against democracy? These people vote. These people have a say. And, it's like, I don't know. I don't think everybody should have the right to vote, to say the least. We need to seriously rethink. We seriously need to rethink how we do things in this country. This is not working out, dude. This is not working out. Ugh. China's mass producing nuclear power plants. China #1. Yeah, they're a serious country. And meanwhile, it's like, dude, we're putting money into like what? Like DEI initiatives, all kinds of fucking bullshit and nonsense. We're out of munitions. We're out of missile interceptors. What do we even build? Half the country is like crying about AI data centers. It's like, why? Like, what are you talking? Like, we want to become an AI superpower, you fucking idiots. If your issue with AI data centers are that they're like loud, or or that like maybe they'll bump up your electricity bill, well, maybe we should build more power plants. Maybe we should take a more. Now that's like a case where maybe we could discuss like government subsidies for energy usage, for power usage, to make it affordable for Americans. Like I think ideally we just build more power plants, but I'm open to suggestions. Like, and we could do stuff like that. We could have that conversation if we're not wasting so much fucking money on these wars, or spending it, or like having money just get stolen in these big, these like big fraud networks like in Minnesota. And you just realize, everybody's just stealing. Everybody's just got their hand in the cookie jar, and they're just taking what they can as the ship sinks. They don't give a shit. That's like the real reason why things are falling apart, is because people are just apathetic. Ugh. Oh, what's up, Corbin? How's it going? Big missile guy, W. Big missile guy. How's it going, Corbin? Been a minute. Nah, big on flock. The thing about like the flock cameras, it would be nice if they actually like did like utilize them to reduce crime, but it's like, dude, they don't. Moreover, I'm not gonna tell people to go like, I hate when people tell people to like tear down their local flock camera. It's like, are you doing that? Like is Tucker Carlson going out tearing down these fucking flock cameras? I don't think so. No, it's for the stupid this stupid riffraff to do. I don't know, man. Life is good, W. Glad to hear it. Let me catch up. Andrew sucks. The debate was a monstrosity. It was just a waste of fucking time. Rather watch Bugs Bunny. Yeah, me too. You don't need to watch it. Make your favorite clanker watch it and analyze it. Mel, have you ever argued with a black woman? Probably at some point. The U.S. needs more nuclear power plants. Yeah, we do. Like the show. Yeah, like the stream. Huawei and Xiaomi have overtaken Apple. Have they really? China is building nuclear plants in the batches of 10. As of mid-2026, China has approximately 36 to 38 nuclear reactors under construction. Impressive. Wouldn't it be nice if we had something like that? Trump only listens to Mossad now. Something along those lines. All of Trump's grandchildren are Jewish. Yeah, true. Fact checked by real American patriots. Nope, need oil. Got to put down these other countries. Well, we have our oil. It's what about the war in Iran though? Is that what we're talking about? No. We have oil. We have oil. We are not the beneficiary, and it's killing us actually. Like our strategic reserves are running dry as a result of this. Like we have our oil that we should be like bumping up production of, but we haven't, and it takes time to do that. You can't just like flip a switch and like 2x production or build a bunch of new plants. Like oil refineries take like minimum 5 years to make, minimum if you speed run it. They're very complicated processes, and we're losing a lot of that expertise because our manufacturing industry is atrophied. So you can't just build these massive multi-million-dollar facilities overnight without people who know how to actually build them. You'd have to pull a lot of people out of retirement. We're just not in a good position right now at all. So AI data centers do not create jobs. Well, in a sense that they could, because you need somebody to build them and maintain them. But AI, like the world is going the way of AI, whether we like it or not. Build Jaeger robots to crush China. Yeah, we need more robots. It's for the people that know the price of copper. Contact your local homeless guy. Yeah, like if some guy wants to like rather than like rob me for like my keys or whatever, I don't even carry cash. Who carries cash anymore? Yeah, I could tell some homeless guy to go do it who has nothing to lose. Some crackhead. If some criminal, somebody already committed to a life of crime and debauchery wants to go and like with nothing to lose, go and tear down their flock camera, like as opposed to like robbing me, because I've had people like look into my fucking windows and shit looking for stuff to steal. Then go ahead, be my guest. But I'm not gonna tell like people with things to lose, like patriots or like civilians with like respectable human beings to go and torch their life over something that's stupid. Yeah. I'd like to know how many people or how many flock cameras like Dan Bilzerian or Tucker Carlson have personally taken down these fucking people, man. Don't you love that? It's telescopic bravery. That's what it is. I love that term, but it is telescopic bravery. People advocating that somebody else does something about it that they themselves would never do. Cowardice. Anyway. Bridges laundering money to Israel and Ukraine every day. Biden was a puppet, and it turns out Trump is a puppet too. You're telling me for the first time. I didn't know that. They're going to use the flock camera to harass your ass. Like I said, look, if they actually use them to reduce crime, great. But that's not what's happening, clearly. What's up, Kumquat? How's it going? Zooey Mama, I need some DDR3. What? What is that? What? DDR3? What is that even a reference to? Are you talking about RAM? Are you talking about like Dance Dance Revolution 3? DDR3. When we have DDR5. What? Damn. Oh, it's the same with the chip manufacturing. TSMC coming in and building the large IC plant in the world and bringing in their teams to do so because we quite literally don't have the expertise. Our infrastructure is atrophied, is a beautiful description. No manufacturing, no infrastructure, updates, lack of power plants, nuclear, lack of public transport, lack of some sort of national water distribution system. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, we could be living in Wakanda. We could be living in Wakanda, but it's so simple. It's in the palm of our hands, but we're just fucking around. That's what we're doing. We're fucking around. You think about what this country could be versus where we're at now, and I don't know how that doesn't radicalize people. You think about like how fucked up our situation is. We put men on the moon, dude. We put men on the moon. We own the finish line, Jack. We had it all. The future is in our hands. We just need to grasp it. And it's not complicated stuff. Well, obviously some of it is, but the overarching strategy and theory of it all is just basic. You go back to first principles and it just makes sense. You just build out all the stuff you need. So we're not dependent on other countries. So we have a robust we have a robust economy, and we essentially have ownership of every part of our logistics. Simple. But when we rely on resources from the other side of the world, well, obviously with changing geopolitical conditions, that's a problem. Like, what happens if, like, we seriously enter a war with China? Are we ready for that? Are Americans ready for that? The consumer base, our manufacturing, when we get a lot of our steel from China, as one example. Same thing with this war in Iran. Have we built up our domestic oil manufacturing to make up for the loss of oil from the Gulf? No. 20% of the world's oil comes through the Strait. And now that's not happening, and the consequences for that are severe. We're going to experience some shortages here. You know, our strategic oil reserves are dangerously low, and in the third world, a lot of people are just going to die because, you know, I'll think of all the petroleum products like fertilizer that are not making it through the Strait. You can't cut that off and have this latency, this like this 150-day latency and expect everything to run smoothly after that. Yikes. Anyway, General Dynamics took 500 mil to build a munitions factory with robots that catch fire. They had to shut down the plant, but they're still winning contracts. Yeah, I mean, back in the day, like, there were a lot of potential government contractors, you know, back in the height of the Cold War. And it's kind of just, you know, it's all it's been like cut down to what, like just a handful, like 5 major government military contractors. Yeah, competition is good. Funds don't go towards the right things. Yeah, true. And we're just wasting our time, dude. We're wasting our time. And you know, again, you just think about how much better things could be here, and you know, you have to wonder why. And that's why it's the best tagline. One of my favorite taglines in recent years is just take your own side. Like, who else is going to look out for your interests? First, people need to understand who they are, what their interests are, and then begin to advocate for them, because nobody else will. It's like, you think these other countries are going to look at Americans and be like, we need to look out for their... No, they're not. They're not. So we just need to put our own interests first. That doesn't mean we need to fuck everybody else over in a terrible, immoral way. You know, there's a moral way to go about it, but it does mean we need to put our interest first and foremost. And that's how we make our country better. It's that simple. We need to cut out all the fluff, all the other rhetoric, and just focus on hard interests. Mello was a cute gamer. Gamers rise up. I didn't leave. I'm eating chicken tendies. My bad. Found a video of Mello. I'm not clicking on that. I'm not clicking on that. The flock camos have DDR3 and massive SSD. Oh, that's what you were talking about. 12 gigabyte. That's trash. Listen, that DDR3 is more valuable than copper inside of it. No, it's not. DDR3 is not valuable at all. It's got to be like at least DDR4. Antifa will take flock cameras down. I don't know. I don't know if they have an official stance on it. I forget if it's 12, 24 or something bigger, honestly. Yeah, these days, obviously, I haven't played RTS games. Yeah, I know. That's literally it, dude. That's like literally... These guys, it's, you play one fucking RTS game and it's just like, oh, okay, that's how things work. It's not complicated stuff. If you play Civilization one time and you understand geopolitics, one time. You play Total War one time. That's all you need. That's all you need. It's not complicated. Play a map game for once in your life. Play a map game. Open up the world map and just look around. Just look around. Look around. And just put 2 and 2 together. Oh, yeah. Ready for that. Can't wait for to pin down an Asian twink. Okay, come on. What the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from? Not to mention the U.S. We learned about as kids simply doesn't exist. Not the principles, checks and balances. The American dream doesn't exist anymore. Lack of competition, a bunch of billionaire assholes. Well, here's the thing, though. It's like, as far as the billionaires go, I don't have a problem with people being billionaires. It's just like, okay, well, you know, how are you acquiring your wealth? Through what means, of course, but what are you doing with it? I would hope that people that acquire their wealth would use it to make their country better. Very Ford-esque. There are many things to it. Like Ford created the middle class, and he cared deeply about his fellow Americans. You can only wish that, that the elite class would feel similarly. But that's why, I mean, the best thing to do is to just make a fuck ton of money and then do it yourself, right? First step, become a billionaire. But that's kind of how it goes. It's all about power, and money is obviously one form of power. So it's yeah. There are layers deeper than just like, the billionaires. It's yeah. Japan needs flock cameras. A series of historic wooden shrines across Japan have caught fire as they import Muslims and other immigrants. It's a coincidence. Yeah, just a coincidence. I mean, it's kind of like all the churches in Europe, and also in, I think, Canada too, that are just burning down all of a sudden. Curious. Play Hearts of Iron 4, The Fire Rises. We were talking about going to war with China, my bad. How does, like, Kumquat always just farm me like that? He always just farms me. I just fall for the trap every time. Every time he just fucking hook, line, and sinker, dude. Future, the wealth should be redistributed in a useful way other than hordes. No, I don't think, like, I'm not in favor of wealth redistribution. I think in a sense it's like, if there needs to be like a public-private alignment of interests. I think I'm like pro-industry. I think you need incentives. I think you need people to see the fruits of their labor to incentivize innovation and massive industry. I for all of my criticisms I might have of Elon Musk, I do in a sense admire him and what he's been able to accomplish. He's created a number of very impressive businesses across a number of industries. And say what you will about him, I won't take that away from him. And he's employed a lot of people, and he's shaken things up a lot. And I think he's made in many ways a good product with the Tesla car. And you don't get that. I don't think you get that kind of innovation if there isn't the incentive structure to do so. If the state is just going to like take your money and redistribute it to like, the proletariat. The unwashed masses are scum. The unwashed masses are scum, and they're not to be trusted. And, for every Elon Musk, there's like a million fucking idiots that are just like seething and could never build anything a fraction of as impressive of what as what Elon has built himself. So I'm not in favor of redistributing wealth, but I do think that we need a strong authority, a strong government that, quite frankly, is just going to regulate and enforce these policies that force these companies and these, I guess you could say, the billionaire class to like reinvest in America, to pay it forward. Because a big part of the problem is that they're getting the best of both worlds. They were able to to offshore a lot of manufacturing or service jobs to other countries. Those are jobs that Americans could take. They're operating under the protection of America, and they're benefiting from the American economy. operating on American soil, selling products to Americans, but they're not offering the jobs to Americans. Similarly, they're also bringing in a bunch of foreign work to undercut American wages. That's not, if you're an American and you're working class, that is not in your interest to compete with the rest of the world. And they always say, well, they're bringing in the best and brightest, and, you know, or something along those lines, or Americans don't want to do those jobs, or they can't do those jobs. That's bullshit. They're lying to you. They're lying to you so that they can convince you to pay you less. That's what they say, and they've convinced so many Americans to advocate for things that are not in their interests. If you're like, you know, a professional class American, you should easily be getting like paid 2.5 times what you're currently, easily, 2.5 times, easily, if you don't have to compete with the rest of the world. If manufacturing and opportunities were brought back to America. But again, like they've convinced Americans it's like a virtuous thing. Like, oh, if you don't want to compete with all of this foreign labor, you're like racist, or like you're xenophobic or something like that. And that's just like, they're just gaslighting you to advocate for things that are not in your interest. Like best and brightest, like we're talking about like a few thousand, tens of thousands, maybe, that are truly the quote unquote best and brightest, irreplaceable talent. We're not talking about the like the damn near 1 million H-1Bs, just H-1Bs, not including like O-1s or any other type of visa, like F-1s, just H-1Bs approved every year. Those are not the best and brightest at all. And so they're undercutting American wages. So Americans are getting shafted. So, the solution they're telling you is just like tax rich people more. It's like, no. That's not really the solution. You know, rich people already, I think, pay a lot in taxes. And it typically always falls on the middle class anyway. Like the upper middle class, lower upper class, because the true rich people are just going to move their assets elsewhere. You know, like they're just going to move their assets elsewhere. And because they can. Because they're smart and they have the means to, or they'll exempt themselves. Anyway, Kumquat is the GOAT. Yeah, no, you missed a statement. The wealth needs to be reinvested in the U.S. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, that's true. You're trying to say, yeah. No, then yeah, we agree. Because you do see these people that are saying, oh, we need to take money from the rich and give it to the poor. It's like, no, that's not, the poor don't make stuff. I hate to say that, but like, and there's a difference. Like some people are like momentarily poor and then they like, you know, whatever. But like, you want the middle class. Those are the people with the most mobility. Middle class and upper class as well. Because typically there is very much a correlation with IQ and wealth. And so you want the smart people, you want to incentivize them to create opportunity. And then everybody can eat, right? But that opportunity needs to be here. First principles. We must think of first principles. So, anyway. The Dodge brothers sued Henry Ford because he wanted to give bonus to his workers instead of increasing his shareholder dividend. Not all billionaires are equal. True. That is 100%. Yeah, I know about that. Crazy. Truth. Highly educated, highly experienced, and I make less than I did 27 years ago. Yeah, well, there you go. There you go, man. It's sad. It's like, it really is sad. As frustrated as I am with like so many Americans, isn't it tragic what's happening to this country? What's happening to Americans? You know, I saw this stupid, like YouTube short here. I still have the tab open. And it's like, I'll just let it play. This is so stupid, but like, it kind of got me a little emotional.
Is that for me?
That's for us.
Lord, look what a meal. God.
It'll fall apart. It's tender.
Is that mine?
If that's the one you want.
Look what a piece. I'm so happy. Oh. I'm gonna have to slow dance you into the moonlight tonight, love.
Oh yeah.
I sure will if I'm able.
Promises, promises.
Yeah.
This is just like so stupid, but it got me thinking, like, you know, like, dude, Americans are good people, man. They are. And even for like kind of the more simple blue collar working class, there's just like, you know, you talk to like a lot of Americans, you know, and they're just like in the South, simple folk, you could say, that like they're not educated, they're not like the cream of the crop, but they're good people, man. And even if you look at somebody like this, and it's like they're not like conventionally attractive, but you just know they're good people. These are our people, man. And I just want what's best for them. And I just hate how, I say how so many Americans are just getting fucked over. Like, who's looking out for these people? You know, it's just like, so every time I get like frustrated with like, you know, the average person, I just remember there's a lot of good people out there. And it's like this stuff we're talking about is like not really for these people to have to worry about. They shouldn't have to worry about this stuff. It's not like their job to, you know what I mean? No, I think about like the people in Appalachia, for example, that have just been totally abandoned and forgotten about. And what, like, who's gonna look out for them? All of the like elite human capital left long ago. You know, national politics forgets they exist. Won't even mention them. You know, J.D. Vance, maybe the most high-profile politician from Appalachia, he hates his heritage. He disavows his heritage. You talk to these people, they're good people, man. Fuck. And I just want to, like, they just need leadership. They just need direction. We can get more out of these people. We can get more for these people. That's what's so frustrating. That's one of the big parts. Like, America, I believe in America. I believe in the American people. And this is all gonna go away. This is going away. Sucks, man. Anyway. You just know, like, there's, and maybe they don't have it all figured out, you know. But, yeah, it's like people talk about, like, Southern hospitality as, like, it's unique. There's, like, nothing else like it in the world. Like Europeans, I saw this, like, during, the World Cup, there were a bunch of people, I forgot which European country they came from, but they were talking about how, like, amazing, you know, the amazing hospitality they received from like this one diner. They like, the people were so thrilled to have them in, they like paid for their meal and everything. Like, where else in the world does that exist, man? I don't know. And, you know, I'm not here to defend everything of like Southern. I'm not Southern or like anything. Like, there are many things we can improve upon our culture, or that culture in general. Not saying everything about hillbilly culture or whatever is good. We can better it. We can better the culture. We can better our people. But it's the essence of that good-natured essence that must be preserved. And that comes from these people, you know? I don't want to lose that. Anyway. What's up, Gropier? How's it going, dog? You should be taxing the form more. True. From 1914 until 1938, the Dodge brothers used the Star of David as their logo, the OG Trolls. I think I saw something like that. Is that true? I saw something like that. vaguely. Well, yeah, that's a whole discussion. The invention of companies prioritizing shareholder value over anything else was semi at a detriment to the American people. Yeah, you know, we just need like kind of a major overhaul in I guess our political ideology in this country. Major, major, major overhaul. So, like, it just shouldn't be allowed for that to happen. It makes me cry every time I was married. My husband never cared how much I tried to make him happy. His favorite foods. That guy is so sweet. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's just sad, man. It's you know. I love this country, dude. I love America. I love Americans. Uh, yeah. Dream big and be a politician. No one should mysteriously disappear. I don't know if I don't know if I'm built to be a politician, but you know, we must believe. We need to believe in America and in morality. You know, we have to become a moral people again. Right now, it's not like you see what's happened to the country in so many ways on at the top and all the way down at the bottom on a macro level and at a micro level. It's like people just stop trying to live moral lives. They're not even pretending to like try to be moral. And a lot of people don't even know what that means. Like you ask them like what they believe in, how would you define good versus bad? And it's just like, well, just like don't be an asshole, man, or something like that. It's like, okay, like people they don't even know. They don't even know where their version of morality comes from or how they're being influenced. And we need people to be more self-aware. We need to examine. We need everybody to sort of examine themselves so we can examine ourselves as a people. What do we believe in? Where does our morality come from? And a lot of people go through life and they never ask themselves that question. You know, and we need to return. Yeah. He'll give you the shirt off his back. True. You know, if your car broke down on the side of the road, it's those people that will be there to help you out. Glad you're young and hopeful. I'm not. I try to be hopeful. I try. I'm trying so hard, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, it's depressing. It's tough nowadays. I'm of the belief that things are gonna get worse, unfortunately, before they get better. It's gonna take some time to slow the train down before it can reverse in the opposite direction. So in the long time frame, I am optimistic things will get better, but in the short term, I think things will continue to degenerate for a little bit. I don't know how much longer, but I think things are going to get tumultuous. So, yeah, I love America. There was a video where some teacher was crying about how seniors, high school students could not read and write. Do you think human capital has declined? Well, I mean, the obvious like question is, well, the demographics, how the demographics have also changed. But yeah, I do think I do think human capital has declined because people can't pay attention for long enough. Their dopamine is shot. And that's a big part of solving complex problems or thinking critically is you have to focus on them. Take it from me. Take it from me. Like, you know, I played too many video games growing up, so I understand this problem intimately. You know, and so a lot of people have this sort of induced ADHD because like when you're like goy scrolling or you're playing video games or whatever, what can compare to that? You're going to pick up a fucking book after you just like, you know, after you just clutched a 1v3 in Counter-Strike. Like you're going to pick up a book now and try to read it after you just watched like 3 hours of like women shaking their ass on TikTok. Good luck. You like they can't focus. So there's a lot of that going on. And then you've got like there's a dishonesty element. I genuinely think more people are cheating in academia now than before. I also think there's a problem with the demographics in academia that has led to that. But I think there's a lot more dishonesty going on, and it's more accessible to cheat as well with things like AI. So you can just you ask Guac, solve this problem for me, Guac, solve this math equation for me, Guac, and it'll do it for you. And then you just turn in your homework. You don't have to understand it. And I'm not quite sure what the solution to that is, because AI is here to stay. And people need to learn how to use these tools. But it's very important that they understand the foundation of what they're doing. I do believe that's true. You need to understand, like, if you're a mathematician, what is a derivative? What is an integral? And visualize it. Just having Guac solve problems for you, like, we're gonna have a problem with that, obviously. So we've been long overdue for the ideological overhaul. Yeah, we had a two-party system forever, but two major parties just to switch crazy often back in the day. Well, it's really the two parties just kind of believe the same shit. I said at the top of the show, like, I walked into a bookstore yesterday, and I'm like reading through, like, looking at all the different books they have on display, and like the politics and like the trending books. And it's like they all have the same ideological foundation. They're all like some form of kind of like liberal worldview. Very liberal, very like pro-democratic worldview, unsurprisingly. And it's like, you look at our situation and we need to reassess some of these foundations, like some of the foundation of our ideology, because shit's not going well. Something must be wrong. How did it get to this point? We need to really dissect this. And we need to re-examine these ideological priors and ask ourselves, is this correct? Is this the right worldview? Should we still believe in these things, like liberal egalitarianism or blank slatism that suggests that everybody is the same? It's purely like environmental, like people, it doesn't matter like what genetics you have, that we're all the same. And I don't think that's true. I think that's demonstrably false. But for decades, people have been told that that is the case. That has been reinforced by the institutions, been reinforced by academia, by the policymakers, and I think we're seeing the result of that. Things are falling apart, and all this diversity is creating real problems in our country because, surprise, surprise, people are different. They have different behaviors, and they're tribal, and so they don't get along. They do not get along, and people have, for years, have said diversity is a strength, when I think demonstrably it's actually a weakness. It's a liability. You look at what's going on in Iran. We're funding the Kurds, who are a minority. They're diaspora. They're nationless, in an attempt to weaponize them against the Iranian regime. Do you think the Iranians consider the Kurds a strength, that diversity a strength, that they see it as a great problem for them? That you have a bunch of radicalized, armed Kurds that are being mobilized against their regime. I think they would consider the Kurds to be a great threat. And you see this happen all the time, wherever there is these large diasporas that grow in enough size and become in many ways hostile to the majority. And of course, the specifics matter, the specific demographics matter. Like, not every diaspora is the same. Not every group of people are the same and behave the same. But you get the point, I hope. So, Pope Benedict the 16th said, pray for me that I may not flee for fear of the wolves. The shepherd fled and we got Francis. I don't blame the common man. It was never their job to lead. I know. And that's maybe the printing press was a mistake. Maybe the internet was a mistake, I do. I feel sorry for a lot of people. I don't know. How do you even navigate this stuff? Seriously. It is such that there are so many different interest groups that are trying to influence you right now. And most people they're unaware of their surroundings. They're not checking both ways before they even cross the street. They have no idea how they are being influenced on a regular basis, constantly, through their social media, through the institutions, whatever. And then now you throw in like AI into the mix, dude. I don't even, you see some of these videos that come across your timeline, like, you know, at a glance, like, is this even real? And it's scary that we're at that point. You know, some videos are more obvious than others, but it's gotten to a point where like AI has gotten so good. I'm genuinely, especially when it's like low res, like it's a lower res video, you know, you genuinely wonder, is this real or not? So like you see the problem with that. Our eyes, we can't even agree. We're watching the same. It's like we're watching the same movie, but we're reading two completely different scripts. It's crazy. It's scary. It's scary that it's hard to tell what's real and what isn't. Anyway. I saw that video, the teacher was crying, totally heartbroken. The future doesn't look bright. Yeah. Does an ex-wife of a pastor, morality is not in churches. That's what I did today. I gooned for, okay. A couple hours, then read the Book of Five Rings. Just lock it. Just lock it. Okay, come quiet. You know, Brown House, I don't care if new graduates can read or write. Europeans will continue to read and write. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, academia is just kind of crumbling, but it's got to be the best. That's just what you got to do. You just got to be the best. Yeah, I went down to the bookstore today and told me they didn't have the international cheaper. And then they had the audacity to kick me out of the Barnes and Nobles after I asked them where they kept their Julius Evola collection. Based? 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 That sounds kind of based. I'm quite based. Yeah, you know, it doesn't even have to be just like based literature, just like learn about things. And a lot of it is like you need to be able to also read between the lines. You know, understand what somebody believes in and how they might try to influence them and how it influences their writing. Like in that sense, there's nothing wrong with like reading the New York Times or like the Times of Israel. You just have to know what you're reading. You can learn a lot from reading these, I guess you could call it propaganda, although that's a charged term. Because then you can see what they're trying to convince you of and why. Because they don't typically lie about that. You know, they don't typically lie about like what they want you to believe. Oh, no show tonight? Sheesh. Anyway. A Kumquat read Revolt Against the Modern World. I never read that. I never read that. Like when it comes to Evola, I don't know, man. I mean, my understanding is he became like some kind of like Hindu mystic. Kind of weird, man. I think like you'd probably like read some of like the big thrust of many of his books, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Talking about the onset of degeneracy. So I will, maybe this is controversial, but it's like I would say read with intention. Like try to read something, ideally something that you don't already know or that you can learn something from. Like I wouldn't necessarily say like read just to read, because there's so much to read. like I will typically read something if I feel like I can learn something new. Um, like I was thinking about like picking up this book about the Crusades. I know, LARP, 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 LARP. And I'm like flipping through it in this bookstore, and you know, I was reading this one random passage, and it was talking about this one king, and talking about his beard and everything, and it was like well groomed and everything. I'm like, you know, how much of this, and I'm thinking like, how much of this book is that versus like, what do I want to get out of this book? Will this like tangibly enrich my knowledge and understanding of this conflict? Probably, but how much of this is filled with like fun factoids that aren't really super important? I know like that's like part of the experience of reading, you know, you kind of just what sticks with you is maybe some of the facts and all that. But yeah, like you kind of want to get something out of your book, out of the book you're reading, and once you feel like you've gotten what you want out of it, then you're good to go. Benny and Basil are reviewing the debate. This is the proper use of mows. What are mows? What do you mean by that? Is that like a new slur or something? Yeah, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I'm just used car salesman sells mixed race couple and a yes, yes, yes. So based. Yes, yes.
Classic one they throw at you.
Yeah,
America deserved 9/11.
Yeah.
You've withdrawn that comment, I believe.
Yeah, I said it in 2019, and you know, if you listen to the full conversation, you very quickly understand what I'm talking about. I'm
You're talking
saying,
about foreign
like,
policy blowback.
Yeah, we're talking about foreign policy blowback.
But you could have phrased it better because it sounds like you're saying people deserve to die.
Of
and
course,
we don't believe that.
Again, in 2019, and then immediately I'm
I don't even want. Do we even entertain this? No gays? Oh, okay. The problem with reading the trad books is it regurgitates what's already known. There's degeneracy in the world. The people should do X. The Israeli lobby controls Y. Oh, really? Damn, I never knew. That's the thing. It's like, I don't feel like I need to read Evola. I don't feel like I need to read Camp of Saints. Not by Evola, by the way. Just bringing that up as another example. I feel like a lot of this stuff you can kind of glean just from observation. And maybe if you need a way to put it into words that you don't already have, then that could be a good way to do it. And I'm certainly not discouraging people from reading, but I think some people pretend like reading is the end all be all. And they sort of use that as like a, I don't know, like their bookshelf is filled with fucking books and they're still retards. You know what I mean? Like, reading is not going to make you smart. Again, I encourage reading. But, oh yeah, name 10 books. Good Night Moon. The Three Musketeers. The Three Musketeers. Green Eggs and Ham. Oh, you like reading? Name all the books. Name all the books. So, yeah, a lot of people are. They're really just trying to sound smarter than they are. I'm just tired of it, dude. Dude, just slop. I'm just getting slop on the timeline. There's kind of nothing really going on. I'm pretty bored. Cat in the Hat. Yeah, oh, how could I forget the classic? The cat is indeed in the hat. I'm trying to get into reading, and I looked through some Gorper reading lists, and it's like it just takes it back to square one. As someone that's been in the know since 2017, I had to dip into something else. Yeah, Don Quixote. Oh, okay, MGO coming in. Oh, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that one. Yeah, it is. It's just like the Communist Manifesto, Mein Kampf. Yeah, it's like, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I should go back to that bookstore and actually pick up a book. Like I said, I want to pick up a book on Stalin. Um, I know there's quite a number of them. I'll do some research on which ones are actually get into like the real nitty gritty, and which ones are kind of a waste of time. How's the AI project coming along? I think it's coming along well. Really cool. Yeah, maybe we'll talk about it soon. Maybe. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Classic. A classic. A classic. A classic one. What is this clip?
Hi, Nick. I hope you had fun in NYC this weekend. I was there too and had lots of fun. What's your go-to Cane's order? I'm
Chicken
curious what you get.
fingers.
Thanks for being so funny and doing our streams. Merry Christmas.
I get the chicken fingers. I think that's the only thing they sell.
Smoking 99-cent $20. What are a few things you'd do as president if enough people supported you that you ended up in real power and leadership?
What do you get at Raising Cane's? So let's see. They have a 2-piece combo, a 3-piece combo, a 4. It's chicken nuggets. Fucking idiot. What do you get at Raising Cane's? The pizza. I love Raising Cane's stir fry and fucking pizza, you fucking stupid idiot. What do I get at Raising Cane's? What do you think? I get the fried chicken strips. That's all they... What do you get, the Caniac combo or the box combo? That's what you're asking me? You're asking me, do I get 4 or 5 chicken tenders?
So
I have
real.
to know. I have to know. Do you get the 4-piece combo or do you get the 5-piece combo? Do you get it with the toast or do you get it with the coleslaw? What is wrong with you people? Seriously, you're retarded. You have a developmental disorder and you're retarded. And you should feel bad.
I
You should feel bad for asking that.
I love the juxtaposition of the jolly Christmas set in the background.
What do you get at Raising Cane's?
Oh shit.
What do you mean? What do I get? Or what's your Raising Cane's order? What? What's your Pizza Hut order? Pizza. What's your go-to when you go to Pizza Hut? Yeah, pizza. That's, no, the sushi's really.
Arian S. Laura sent
That's-
$20.
yeah.
Instead of creating
Too hard to read. How's the AI project coming? Yeah, I meant, just a little thing I'm working on the side. For the bell curve, and you're proud. W. Socrates was skeptical of books. This invention will produce forgetfulness in the minds of those who learn to use it because they will not practice their memory. Interesting. What are you spamming? What are you spamming right now? Emgo, what are you spamming right now? Why are you spamming? Stop that. I miss a day when we had $1 super chats. Bro, dude, that one compilation was peak. Do I still have it? Let me see if I have it in here. Oh wait, did they change this? History? No, bookmarks. I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, dude, this.
$5. Geralt sent $5. Pee pee poo poo. Natsuk Greekoid sent $3.
This is $3.
Imagine that BWC print in those sweatpants. Middling Intellect sent $3. Pee pee poo poo. Lollipop Casey sent $3. Thoughts on licking frozen pipe. Thomas Samory sent $10. Hey Nick, I have a question. James Cook sent $3. How many times do you use the bathroom?
Who's doing this? Who's doing this and why?
Geralt
Why are
sent
you doing
$5.
this?
Poo poo pee pee.
Oh fuck.
LMLX sent $3. Real niggas don't die, they multiply.
Okay, all right. That's the last one. That's it. That's the last super chat.
Poo poo pee pee. Yes. Now I have a little break from chat. What's up? What's up? Uh dude, the good old days, huh? The good old days. It's crazy. The good old days. Man, the good old. It's like people don't even all like the new friends like don't they didn't even see the green screen set. The green screen set. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. He loves super chats. He does in fact not love the super chats. He in fact very much does not love the super chats at all. Imagine if Mello was in his shoes. I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine. I could not. It's bad enough, dude, as a independent third party observer. But dude, can you imagine you're carrying like not just like it's not just right wing politics, but like American politics on your fucking back, and you're explaining, you know, you're laying it all out in plain English in a way even a moron could, if they tried, understand, and you get like super chats like that. Hey Nick, thoughts on what? Hey Nick, what are some good books to read? Dude. Hey Nick, what are the odds Israel nukes Iran? What do you even do with that? I could not imagine, dude. The only saving grace has to be like the fact that he's getting money from it. Otherwise, like, I don't know. What I think of this new Michigan Arab Democrat guy, I'm not a fan, obviously. It's just typical. It's just typical at this point. All these like people, non-white people in particular that hate white people, talk about how much they hate white people. And if you like confront them about it, they'll deflect and they'll say, "Oh, what are you? What did Bibi Netanyahu send you?" It's like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about? Oh, what are you, pro-Israel?" It's like, no, what does that have to do with like you being anti-white? You know, like that Zohran Mamdani aide that said that she cannot wait to impoverish the white middle class. What the fuck? And you say, "Hey, what's up with that?" They say, "What did Netanyahu give you Hezbollah?" What the fuck does Netanyahu have to do with this? What? So yeah, I'm obviously not a fan. He took 3 days off this week because of super chats. I wouldn't blame him. No, but he had a collab Wednesday and Thursday, I believe. Oh, Netflix Blue is a Kick channel and airs old videos while his audience explains backstories. Ah, that's like old head lore. The sage wizard of the movement. Ah, yes, back in the dark ages of the 2022. The 2022 dark ages. Back when it felt like there was that was a dark period. If like the 2021, 2022, it was dark. It was a dark period. Sheesh. It was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of hard to get through those shows. Sometimes it was just really pretty depressing. Then you had like the carefree era. Remember, like the Zerka, Fresh and Fit. Even back when he was cool with like Nico. And then he did Yay 24, and it was like, what? No way. That's crazy. Just manifested that. And then like, you know, 2025, everybody's getting red pilled. Generational run. Everyone's like, wow, it's actually happening. People are waking up. And then they just fly right past us and they're talking about Egyptian planes and fucking, yeah, whoa, we've gone too far. We've gone too far. We've gone too far. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. Time out. We need some blue pills. I regret everything. I regret everything. No. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how things have changed, but yeah. Ah, yes, the dinner guest. The infamous dinner guest, which we've heard a million times. We've heard that story a million times. Every night, people had the same questions. Yeah, every night. Every fucking night. Every night. You know? I remember watching his show for the first time, and you're watching, it's like, wow, he's really digging into these super chats. I wonder why he's so angry. And then you watch the next show. Oh, it's the same question again. How often does he get these questions? A month goes by, and then it's okay. it's like, yeah, fuck these, you know. But you can't even like. A lot of people, like when one super chat, like, you know, shits on the other super. How about these super chats? It's like, you're no better. But yeah. The best super, like, it's always like, because some people are really masterful with debate. Some people really are masterful with debate. You know, we've talked about this before, but like the perfect way to bait him is like get him to use just enough mental energy to figure out what you're saying, only to find out that, only to realize that you're really not saying anything. It's just nonsense. So Nick, when, you know, in terms of the logistics of the Iran war and the petroleum processing in Saudi Arabia, you know, how do you think this war will affect domestic oil prices in relation to the larger geopolitical concern? And it's like, wait a minute, you're not saying anything. This is retarded. Those are the ones that send him the hardest. Those are the ones that make him fucking crash out the hardest. When it almost sounds like you know what you're talking about, but it's just gobbledygook. It's just fucking nonsense. Those are the super chats that get Friday shows canceled, okay? Those are the ones. Those are the ones. Ugh. How am I doing? I'm fatigued. I am severely fatigued. John Dave Irving was the goat of super chats. JDI. Juancito Davies Irvings. Yeah, JDI. Good old JDI. I'll hit up AOC. Cougar on the market now. Yeah, she like the well, they weren't married, right? They were engaged. She called it off. The torta. The torta is on the way. Many try to escape the torta fate. Very few do. Very few do. Getting a little chunky. Getting a little chunky. Starting to think AOC's best years are far behind her. She's freezing her eggs now. Like, was it like 95% of women that freeze their eggs never reuse them? Stupid bitch. I just want Vivek to lose. It's not even my state, but I'll walk into work with a smile. Yeah, me too. I hope they have some, and there's like, if you dig into it, you can see like many instances of fraud and like quid pro with Vivek Ramaswamy and some of like these contractors he's affiliated with. Obviously, the whole like pharmaceutical scam was a big one, but there's even more than that. But I'm willing to believe they're holding on to like a thermonuclear, you know, hit piece on him that they're gonna drop at the opportune moment. That's our next president. Don't trash her, Mello. I'm sorry. Don't simp now. JDI is banned from the $100 a month club. Is he really? I know he was doing Seal. He was like unstable or something. One round of IVF is like 50K. Sheesh. 70 to 80% of eggs die before women even get to them. Yeah, sounds like you just gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Do it the old-fashioned way. Man, this is really outside of this, it's just like what it's like pick your poison that we like even clown on Sneeko. I think it's time to just ignore Sneeko, dude. It's like it's clear he's like grasping at anything for attention, man. It's really sad. Now he's like glazing communists, like really, dude. See this? He said the ACP has the best edits. You see the edit that's quote tweeted, it's fucking trash. It's the worst edit you've ever seen. It's like really, bro? He's politically homeless. He's like nobody likes this guy. Nobody fucking likes this guy. He's pissed off and alienated everybody. It's probably just best to ignore him at this point. AOC didn't marry because her finances would get audited. I mean, do you really think that's the case? Could just be a case of like, you know, typical like feminist, too good for him kind of behavior. I don't know. I mean, a million reasons why. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I didn't look into it too much. Yeah, sloppo. Just the Anthropic CEO, his wife wanted to start. I don't know if she did start the porn company, but she wanted to start a porn company and asked Jeffrey Epstein for funding. Yeah, it might be time to, like, if you haven't already, get off Anthropic. I, for one, welcome our new Chinese AI overlords. I'm probably going to buy a Kimmy subscription. I might wrap up what I'm working on right now for the time being and hand it off to another model. A whole, like, just complete different service. Which I technically could because I have all the files on my computer. So I literally could hand it to a different model and have it read all the necessary documentation, understand what's going on, and just have it pick it up from there. So, but yeah, Anthropic kind of on the downtrend in a big way. So she didn't start the quantum company. Okay, so she just asked for funding from Epstein for it. Either way, it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Sneeko was a rare Groiper W. We were right about him. I think you mean a common Groiper W, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Sneeko just sucks, bro. I tried hard to, like, not hate him. But he just disappointed every single time. He just disappointed me every single fucking time. So, whatever. That's the case with a lot of people, man. A lot of people just disappoint you. You know, if you've been in politics for a while, or if you've been in this space in particular, so many people have come and gone. So many people have come and gone. You just gotta let them go. Your favorite influencer is going. They're going. They're getting on the sprint. They're getting in the sprinter van with clavicular. They're going. That shit is kind of tacky. Oh yeah, the Lincoln. That's a whole nother thing. Kumquat, you still here? Kumquat. Anyway, so the Lincoln, has been deployed for 250 days, I guess. And they're like losing their shit on this vessel. Let's read through this actually. My voice is kind of going a little bit. You see that Tate rallying at his hearing yesterday? I saw something like that. A bunch of people came out in support. We'll see what happens. Where's Baked Alaska? Who? Baked Alaska. Where's Jaden? Where's Big Tech? Where's a lot of these people? I actually don't know if I can read this, dude. My throat's really getting sore. Too much yapping. Too much, like, unironically, guys. Unironically. Too much, like, fucking yelling in the car. I'm not kidding. I was crashing out driving. I was just like, it's just, my cortisol. I need to increase my uptake of ashwagandha because my cortisol is, like, I cannot exist in... I step outside and it's just these people are not real people, dude. Holy shit. So yeah, I kind of did a number a little bit on my voice. This Lincoln story is crazy. Yeah. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that more tomorrow. James Alslop Francher coming back. You guys remember Steve Franson? I wonder how his philosophy's coming along. Let's read through this. I'll muscle through this. The replacement Ford carrier turned out to be a lemon. We've known it was shit for over a decade at this point. And so the Lincoln was without coverage. I think they're delaying the MIT's decommissioning too. Despite having 11 to 12 carriers in service, two are always offline for refueling. And there's a multi-year cycle of major repairs, workups, training, operational status lasting only like 1 year, minor repairs, reserve status, deployable but only for short periods, and then a return to major repairs. Some of this is simply unavoidable, like flight deck resurfacing, as it gets worn down by flight operations. So in a 4-year period, maybe 1 year of that is deployable. So 25% uptime for 9 to 10 carriers. That means 2.5 ships per year available. And need to cover other areas too, mainly the Western Pacific / East Asia. These problems are easily foreseen, yet hard for admirals to take to the Pentagon bean counter since their fit reps depend on cutting costs, not asking for more money that might not be spent. It's guaranteed to be spent, but Congress pressures the Pentagon to cut costs too much for how much mission capability they demand. So the crunch happens there, and eventually it's the sailors stuck at sea for 250 days that suffer. When I deployed, I made sure I brought with me a full year's supply of anything I might need. We actually were like the first carrier not to be extended in over a decade, so I didn't need some of it. But it was better to have and not need. For instance, the ship ran out of Monster Energy, but I had brought over 200 cans with me on board. Sheesh. But he made some friends, so I never ran out personally. I used some to bribe my OOD and SWO boards tech. The women on the ship are menstruating. Count your blessings. You've never had to inspect female enlisted birthing on a carrier at the end of deployment. It's fucking foul. Ugh. The stench cannot be adequately described in text alone, nor can military standards and discipline be enforced in that area, because if you even try, it will cause half of the female enlisted in there to have mental breakdowns. The blacks will get violent, the whites will cry and file EO complaints, and only the Hispanics will actually respond appropriately and clean, maybe because it's in their blood. Sheesh. And there were almost 5,000 people on board the ship, all of them working 12 to 18-hour days. By the end, they missed one shipment of Monster and it cascaded to everyone hoarding, and they wouldn't order more at the end of deployment, so we were just out for like 2 months until we got back to Hawaii and everyone stocked up on shore. Shit runs out, supply department isn't perfect. Yeah, I'm furious that because most of the money is squandered on useless shit and there are still material shortages all the time, or material, despite that money. So some spenders have too much money and order new office furniture every year, and some units can't escape to scrape together money for needed material. Then Trump got in promising to cut the DoD budget for the first time in forever. Now it's basically gone from that to wanting to double it because we blew our interceptor load rather than let Tel Aviv take a few hits. Yeah, acquisitions is shit and probably needs a congressional reaming by someone who knows what the fuck is going on. Too bad most officers who were involved in it that don't go into politics, they go to work for the contractors and lobbyists and perpetuate the grift. The next general who gets into the White House will probably be go scorched earth on the Department of War. God knows they need it. It was most of my entire storage space in my wardroom. Other than that, I brought 9 physical books, 6 external hard drives, a tablet, the very minimum of clothes and uniforms, and enough toiletries to last me a year. Over time, I drank down my supply storage, got less cramped. These days, it would be even easier because there are Red Bull-sized cans of energy drinks with 200 milligrams of caffeine in them. So I could have cut my storage, and I'm. Let me take a break here. So I could have cut my storage needs down by like 25%, maybe even 50%. If I used a water bottle to split the cans up into maybe 120. Dude, he's doing chemistry now. He's rationing it out into 120 milligram servings, but that would probably be too much effort. I was an ensign in a 4-man wardroom. We had plenty of space. I honestly couldn't have survived as an enlisted living and birthing. I would have either died of some gay disease or killed myself. Yeah, bro, I lived it, and I studied how bad decisions get made in wartime because I didn't want to make bad decisions and die, and it turned out I wasn't the retarded one. Everyone else around me was retarded, so I quit. Yeah, that sounds about right. The USA is fundamentally incapable of winning a war without resorting to nuclear weapons at this point. Actually, since 2001 with Afghanistan, but definitely today they're incapable of winning without resorting to nuclear weapons. And it's not for a lack of material or manpower. It's because the leadership is fucking retarded and doesn't know what they're doing. Never trust anyone in the military higher than E6 or O2. And of course, the tweet from the Hormuz letter. Breaking, following the hellish conditions aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, the U.S. is sending the aircraft carrier USS George Washington to the Middle East to replace the USS Abraham Lincoln, which has now been deployed for more than 250 days, setting a record for consecutive days at sea per the Wall Street Journal. Sorry. Struggling here. Yeah, that sounds like shit, huh? That sounds like shit. Were you yelling alone in the car? Yes, I was. I was crashing out. I was, 100%. Mello, can you talk to Atlas about your sleeve? He hurt his wrist the other day. Okay, what is this? If you hurt your wrist, what is a sleeve gonna do for that? This is for a glass mouse pad. It's not gonna, like, if you fucked up your wrist, like, this is not gonna do anything for you. Because you're the gooner of the... Okay, I'm not a... Oh, dude, this is... I think, like, Beardson is probably the gooner of the movement. Wouldn't you say? Not me. I'm Wholesome Chungus. You take that back right now. This is not a gooning sleeve. For fuck's sake. This is for the glass mouse pad, okay? So it glides smoothly, because humidity can fuck with the glide. So it's a glass mouse pad. My goodness. I deny the allegations. Women in a group will sync up in their cycle so you can imagine the hell. Yeah, that sounds awful. I don't wear it to hold all the grief I feel watching these sociopaths in power destroy everything that is beautiful and good. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. It is not... It's not easy, dude. It's very tiresome. It's very fatiguing. Just try to enjoy life. That's my advice. Honestly. Just become the best version of yourself that you can be. And try to enjoy life as much as you can. So... And if you've got something to offer to make the country better or get into a position of power or whatever to have a positive influence, then do that. But just try to improve your own life first. So. Anyway, all right. I think that's going to be it for me. My voice is really hurting right now. We're in live for 2.5 hours. That's going to be it for me. I mean, made an AI Tyler Russell and AOC romance pic. Do you want to see it? It might cheer you up. I am going to pass on that. So thoughtful of you to think of me. But we'll take a rain check on that. We'll take a rain check on that. I'm sure Tyler Russell thought it was amazing and he complimented you profusely. I'll use my... never mind, I'm not... I was going to say I'll use my imagination, but that kind of came out worse. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to stream more often. I always say that, but I'm going to. I don't know what the content is going to be, because frankly, not only are we in a pretty brutal content drought, but politics is really pretty shite, pretty fucking awful, and it sucks, and it's blackpilling, and it's more of the same. It's nothing new. I don't know. Maybe I'll play more games on stream. Some fun, wholesome Chungus type shit, you know? Some like blue pill normies type stuff. Okay, guys, today we're gonna play Mistfall Hunter. Mistfall Hunter, check out my mercenary build. We're using the sword and shield. Actually, yeah, see you next month. Yeah, yes. Yeah, all right, guys. All right. GN, everybody. GN. I will catch you guys all later. Have a good weekend, everyone. What if the sleeve hides his Teflon? They'll switch sides. Appreciate you going live. I appreciate you guys coming in. Great show. CRT Games 07. Yeah, the sleeve hides my Teflon, yeah. Shabbat shalom. Anyway, all right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy, everyone. Maybe I'll go live tomorrow or sometime this weekend. I always say I want to do a gaming stream, but people don't care for gaming streams in general. I kind of just want to chill, though. This politics stuff, man, I tell you. Also time. Anyway, take it easy, guys. I'll see you guys all later. Take care.